Hey everyone, and welcome to another OpenRCT2 update video. Version 0.4.24 has been released, and it has been called Encyclopedia Salesman.
Are you an encyclopedia salesman?
No, madam, I'm a burglar. I burgle people.
In this video, I will go over some of the new features, improvements, changes, and fixes that have been done in this version of OpenRCT2. And you can find a link to the full changelog in the video description. Alright, for the first change we have a new feature, and that's that vanilla scenarios, like these ones from Rollercoaster Tycoon 1, but also the ones from Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, they now also all have a nice little preview in the scenario selection window, which you can see on the right. And it always shows the area around the entrance, which I think is a really cool addition. Okay, the next feature is a nice one for people who play OpenRCT2 on a gamepad, like the Steam Deck. On the Steam Deck, obviously, you have joysticks, and the joysticks can now be used to scroll the map. And here in the options menu under the controls tab, here at the bottom you can now see some settings which have to do with this. So you can set the dead zone and the sensitivity of the joystick for scrolling the map. Alright, the next change is very nice for maps that have a lot of animated elements, like these bubbles that you see here. Previously the game could only store the location of 2000 animated elements, and yeah, if you have more than that, then sometimes you would find them actually not animated, so they could freeze in place yeah, from time to time, and they would only animate again if something around them changed. For example, a vehicle passed by or you put your mouse pointer over them. But that limit of 2000 animated elements has now been removed. So yeah, your animated objects should now always animate. Okay, in the scenery window you can find these doorways. And some rides actually can pass through these doorways and make them open and close. And one of these rides is the ghost train. It does look slightly glitchy, but you can see the door open and close, and actually also plays a little sound when they pass through. Now, if you have Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 installed, then you can also get access to these wall edge styles. For example, we have these castle walls. You can all find them here if you have Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 installed and linked. And some of these walls actually also have their own door style, which you can see here. So, for example, this is one of those. Not really sure what the name's called. I believe it's a stucco wall. But also this wall with these windows, they all come with these doors. And these castle walls, they have their own portcullis doors. Now, from what I understand, these doors would actually not animate properly before, but that has now been fixed. So these doors now all animate properly as well. Now, there was also an issue where if you saved and then loaded the game, some of these doors would get stuck. But that should now have also been fixed. Okay, if you're playing the game, obviously you will usually get quite a few notifications. And if you click the date here at the bottom, you get to the notification window. Now, I believe there was a button here previously to do the settings, but it has now been changed into a different tab. So here you can see the tab for the notifications, and here you can see the tab for the notification settings. And on this tab you can select which notifications you do or do not want to see using these checkboxes, which is pretty nice if you just want to ignore some specific notifications. Okay, for the next change, if you're creating a scenario or if you're playing a scenario and you go to the cheat menu, here you can find scenario options. Now here under the money settings, previously if no money was selected, all these other options would just be hidden, but now they just come grayed out and you cannot actually interact with them. So if I turn money on again, you can see I can now change these money options. I think it's always nicer also to just gray out functionality instead of hiding it if some checkbox is set. So I think this is a really nice change. Alright, in this release, once again, several trains or vehicles from the Wacky Worlds and Time Twister expansion have been fixed, and that's mostly when it comes to recoloring these vehicles. Quite a few of these vehicles have wrong remap colors, or for example, for some of these rides, there's a square here to change the colors of the restraints, but then the restraints are actually a mix, for example, between yellow and brown. And then when you change the yellow, what you end up with is restraints that end up, for example, green and brown. And yeah, it just shows that these objects either were not properly made, or that these restraints were not supposed to be recolorable at all. But yeah, for the trains where this was the case, the third remap color has been removed. Okay, for the next change, I'm now back on an older version, and if you go to the options and then to this tab, here you could actually group scenario list by source game. So you would see a tab for every source game, like Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 or its expansions, or Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, etc. But you could also sort by difficulty level. Now, I don't think anybody actually used this, but now here on the left you can see beginner parks, challenging parks, expert parks, etc. And then here you can see all the scenarios, and here they're grouped by the game which they're in. Now, if I'm not mistaken, one of the reasons this is removed, well, firstly, I don't think anybody is using this, but other than that, I believe there's also talks about including the different scenario groups from Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic, so then this would also get in the way. So that's why this option to sort by difficulty has now been removed. So now it will always sort by source game. And then it just looks like this. So here on the left we have all the tabs for the different source games, Wacky World, Time Twister, Rollercoaster Tycoon 2, etc. Now, while I'm still on the older version, there was a bug that if you were constructing something below and then you wanted to continue building above, like on this track over here, if I then right click this track above, nothing would actually happen. And in the newer version that has now been fixed. Alright, to demonstrate the next fix, I've opened up the scenario Forest Frontiers. Now let's enable sandbox mode and then expand the map, like so. Now what you will see is that in this direction you can see the slopes have actually been expanded properly, so it just follows the contours of the landscape. But in this direction it didn't do it properly at all. Now, in the new release version, this has now been fixed. So if you expand the map, it should do the slopes properly in all directions. Okay, next up, there was a bug which in very specific circumstances actually allowed you to edit rides that were open. For example, here I have this vertical drop coaster, and if I select the red piece and then the yellow piece, it will actually select this wooden coaster track. And I can delete pieces on this open ride, which probably isn't the most safe thing to do. And I'm pretty sure the wooden coaster train will soon just drive off the edge. And there we go. But yeah, this bug has been fixed in the new release version. Alright, and finally, if we go into a window which follows a sprite, for example, here we can follow a vehicle. Well, this window obviously has to keep following train 1, but if we drag the right mouse button here, you can see it stops following. We can do the same for a guest. Here we have the screen following this guest, and if I drag the right mouse button, you can see it stops following the guest. Now, this bug has also been fixed, and in the new release, it should keep following the sprite it's supposed to follow. Alright, those were some of the most exciting changes and fixes that have been done in this version of OpenRCT2. You can find a full changelog in the link in the video description. Now, if you enjoyed this video or if it was useful for you, please like this video. It only takes a second to do and it would really help out my channel. I would love to hear in the comments what you think of these changes. And if you want to stay updated on every release of OpenRCT2, you can always subscribe to my channel. Alright, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.